Welcome all you fetuses. I'm the Dying One, CJ Metal, and today I'm reviewing Reign Supreme by Dying Fetus. Released in 2012, which is actually a decade ago, which is kind of crazy because it doesn't seem like 2012 was that long ago. Holy shit. Anyways, Dying Fetus released onto the world some quality, brutal, technical death metal here. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned before that technical stuff, especially when it comes to metal, isn't for me. But Dying Fetus and a very few others are an exception. But first, let's talk about how hard this album really hits. Dying Fetus has always given us some hard-slapping music, but what is a bit different about this album is the overall improvement or cleaner production. Now, if you've heard other Dying Fetus albums, such as their earlier ones before this one, the production is a bit more on the lo-fi side, but that's not the case with this album. Everything on here is clear as day, and yet somehow the music seems heavier because of it. It's very strange, I know. Dying Fetus has always been good about incorporating some technical playing into their brutal music. This album is really no different. The technical playing doesn't really overshadow or overtake the brutal death metal, which is perhaps why I like these guys so much. Now, of course, we have to discuss the negative aspects of this album, and I know some of you will say, "But CJ Metal, there's nothing wrong with this album. You're just a dumbass." Haha. And to those I say, well, you're partially right. What weighs this album down for me is the tempo changes during the breakdowns. It's like slamming the brakes on your car. Like, why would you go from like 60 miles an hour on the freeway to slamming your brakes? That's just stupid. So it really kind of ruined the music for me. And the other negative on here was the last few songs in the album. They're not as memorable as the beginning tracks, in my opinion, which is a real shame because this album starts off so strong and you're like, hell yeah, I want to keep going. This album's gonna be fucking amazing. But then like when you get like half like to the last like few songs, you're like, oh my. It's a bit of a shame because I really wanted to root for this album all the way to like a perfect score, but it's just not that way, unfortunately. And that's going to wrap up all my negatives right there. So basically, with all that in mind, I have to say that this was a good/great album. It still is worth checking out if you're into death metal with some technical elements and some breakdowns, but not as many breakdowns as, say, deathcore, because we all know deathcore is just, whatever. Anyways, I think that's going to wrap up today's review. I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And I'll see you all, hopefully, at the next review, whenever that is. Alright, stay safe. Bye.